Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural edition of Interviews from the Shed with, as promised, the man who took down my big pine trees, Mr. Dave Lang. Dave, welcome to the shed.
Nice to be here.
Well, listen, so Dave's a Westmoreland boy. He took down those 4 big pines that I showed you guys on the ground, and I figured this was the perfect guy to have at the initial or inaugural Interviews from the Shed. So, Dave, how'd you get into this business?
I needed to make money when I was 20 years old.
That does it.
Pretty much. Yeah, and Mike Dandino took me under his wing, and yeah, that was the beginning of that.
So you started off logging, and
Right.
then you worked into.
Yeah,
Are you
I did that
an
for-
arborist? Do you consider yourself an arborist, or you just consider yourself a tree guy?
Probably a tree guy that, is learning to be an arborist. More, an arborist is a pretty knowledgeable person that,
Well, I can tell you guys this: when I saw him doing stuff, he was pretty knowledgeable because he was taking down one of the big trees, and he had his skidder next to it. And I'm thinking, between the skidder and the rock, I'm like, he's going to try to land that there. Now he went completely opposite direction. I was so clueless. So you're pretty knowledgeable. You know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, that part of it is real, I don't know every single tree that there is to know as far as, landscaping trees, and an arborist that knows
Right.
there's a lot to know. And there's still a lot for me to learn, but
Do you enjoy this?
I love it, yeah.
Is it?
I wish I would have started this part of it, when I was 30, instead of being a logger for 30 something years till I was 50.
So what do you think's the biggest difference between being we'll say arborist compared to a logger? Is what's different about it? What equipment's different? What do you need to do this compared to what you did logging?
Well, this is a lot more rigging. It's a lot more technical, and it's a lot more risk. A lot more risk to property, obviously, than logging. When you're logging, you're in the woods, and a lot of times there's not too much to worry about except for the stand of wood if it's a selective cut or whatnot.
So you climb
yeah.
trees,
Yeah.
and I know you didn't have to do that here, but
Right.
you brought some equipment. What equipment do you have that helps you with this stuff?
Bucket truck is key because I'm 55, so climbing's not something I'm gonna do 10 hours a day every day. You know what I mean? I can do it.
Looks
but
good for
I-
55, doesn't he?
But yeah, the bucket truck and the chipper are key for doing that kind of work for sure.
Yeah. You got a skidder too, because you had that here.
Yeah, I've had that for a long time, but that one I'll have forever.
Yes.
But those old John Deeres are pretty hard to beat.
So what's the biggest difference in equipment from chainsaw wise from being an arborist to a logger? What's the biggest difference?
Chainsaw wise, not much really, except you use a smaller saw for climbing or whatever.
Mhm.
I got an electric saw for that usually, but
I have I don't know if you can see it, this little Red Max right here. I bought
Yeah.
that for my girlfriend. That's basically an arborist saw. It's
yeah,
got the
that's
little-
good for climbing.
Yeah, yeah. So that was small enough that she could handle that. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, because they say you're not supposed to one-hand a saw, but I don't care. There's a lot of. It's
every-
kind of hard not to if you gotta toss limbs down and.
well, I know if I was doing that, Dave, it would not be a one-hand saw because I'd have no hands on the saw because I would be hugging the tree. I'd be scared, so I would truly be a tree hugger.
Yeah, yeah, it takes some getting used to, but it's all about facing that fear and working through it, and then it's not. Just gotta trust your gear, and you don't even think about it after a while.
What
Yeah.
brand? Now I know like chainsaws. The big ones are Husky and Steel.
Yeah.
Kind of like with trucks and cars, Fords or Chevys. People are really loyalist. What do you use?
I use Husqvarna, but Steels are great too. Those two are. People could argue about those two all the time, but I run
Ford and Chevy.
Husqvarna.
Yeah, Ford and Chevy, same type of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I have. I have a Husky, although I do have a Steel combi unit with my
Yeah.
little trimmer, which you can put different heads on.
Oh yeah, that's
which,
nice.
Which is a nice little
Yeah, I
unit
have,
there.
the only thing I have that's steel is a hedge trimmer because Bonville's didn't have any at the time.
Yeah.
But now I've switched over I use Jericho Outdoors for all my Husqvarna stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. Luke Doobie, he's a good friend of mine, and yeah, he's got good service, and
Nice.
Good- good deals.
I've never used them, but for those that don't know, Jericho Outdoors is the ATV Husqvarna dealer.
Yep.
Right there on
Oh,
the
yeah,
Jericho
he's-
Road.
He's really good, yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's got everything there, and they're good at working on 'em. They got the computer to tune them. And
Oh, no kidding.
Everything you need, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'll have to keep that in mind. Although I've had
Yeah.
great luck with my Husqvarnas. I've usually,
Yeah,
at the time, I used Le Bonvilles.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, I used Bonvilles for years, but now Luca's a good friend of mine, and he treats me good. So
that's always a plus.
Yep. Yep.
So what made you decide to do this though? What was the reason that you got into this? Did you see a need, or did somebody say, hey, you can cut trees, you want to try this out?
Yeah, I'd always done it a little bit here and there during mud season and stuff, but I never climbed and I never had a bucket truck. It was always just stuff you could do dropping, and I'm like, man, I just wanted a change.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to do it, just never, So I bought up some gear and just got into it. And been doing it. I do it all. I mean, I climbed so many trees just for the fun of it. You know what I mean? When I got that gear, just I was 49, 50 years old, and I was obsessed with it. Yeah, and then just started getting little jobs here and there, and now it's pretty much full time. Last summer and this summer.
Awesome.
Yep.
So have you ever been at the top of, like, say, not like the big pines I had, but
Yeah.
say a smaller fir or something where you have to cut it and you get the sway back and forth of the tree? Have you had that happen to you yet?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Doesn't-
yeah. My wife is awesome. Like if we're rigging anything like that, she can let it run, and you don't, if you lock it right off, you're gonna go for a ride. But yeah, she's really good.
So your wife works with you. This is a
Yeah.
family affair.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much her and I. And once in a while, Jacob will work with us. We got a lot of brush to drag. He's like, he's the man. And when he came here that day, we were just cleaning up. But yeah, he can drag a lot of brush in a hurry. 'Cause
Well,
that's the hardest part of the whole thing.
That's-
Is
yeah.
the brush. Yeah.
It's tedious.
But yeah, as far as cutting the tops off, you get used to it. You hang on. You gotta trust your gear and trust the tree. If you trust the tree, if you're climbing something that's sketchy, then it's a little scary.
Like we wouldn't want to be climbing that thing right up there. I don't know if you guys can see that big dead thing right there.
Yeah, I've climbed those before. If they're hard,
I don't think
I
that
would
one is.
never rig off it or anything, but I've climbed them and put ropes up in them to pull them over.
Yeah, that's a big old dead one.
Yeah, and your spikes go right in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there different spikes for different types of wood, softwood, hardwood, or you just use one?
I just use one. Yeah, I think they have. There is another kind that are shorter, but they obviously get the telephone climbing
Mhm.
spikes, but I don't. No.
Do you ever take a slide down the tree with the spikes on?
Yeah, I've spurred out or whatever you call it before. Yeah, that's no fun.
I would not imagine that is fun.
No, frozen oak or something like that is sometimes or when the wood's peeling.
Springtime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a small tree,
Yeah.
you gotta really drive your spikes in there sometimes. If you're just setting them in the box, sometimes it'll go right down there.
So, as a family affair, when you decide you were going to do this, what was your wife's first thoughts? Was she like, "Let's do this," or like, "What are you nuts?"
Yeah, what are you nuts? Yeah. Yeah, 50, because I pretty much just turned 50, and she's like, oh, whatever. But she's been real supportive,
That's key.
It's-
I mean,
yeah.
if she's helping out, that's awesome.
Yeah. And to me, it's not any harder than logging. It's not any worse than getting in and out of the skidder 100 times a day or whatever, it's... But
No,
it's
I
different.
imagine-
It's a different... it's a lot slower pace. You take your time and do it right. And logging is, you're paid on production, so
Right.
you always feel like you're in a hurry, no matter what.
Cut.
Yep.
And this time you got to be careful so you don't drop it through
Yeah.
the roof of the house.
Right. You set a price. You give an estimate, set a price, and just get the job done and not.
And
be in a
what
hurry.
area do you cover? Like, I know this was a home game for you because
Yeah,
Dave's a
yeah,
West
it's
Milan
close.
boy. We're in West Milan. This was like a home game for him. He could go home and get lunch
lunch.
and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you cover?
Pretty much, we've worked from Jefferson, Shelburne, Lancaster. That's about as far. Well, we got to go up to McGalloway this fall and do some big trees around the camp. So that'll be fun on Sturtevant Pond.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll go wherever. I mean, it costs a little bit more the further we gotta go if we gotta bring the bucket truck and stuff, but it's, so we try to stay within like an hour.
And that's keeping you plenty busy.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Yeah, I started a little, well, put a thing on Google, so if people, because there's no yellow pages nowadays, so it's hard to find, people to get in touch with you.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, I found out about you because of my daughter-in-law's folks, Ted and Mary,
Yeah,
just down the road from you. And they told me to give you a buzz, and I think I Googled you to find your phone number.
did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It worked. Then.
Yeah, it worked.
It was like, I think it's like $16 a month, but at least people can find you if they want to. But the word of mouth thing has been great because we've gone from good people to, you know what I mean. We've never had any trouble with customers, anything like that. It's always been good.
Well, I can tell you from my experience with you, I don't think anybody should have trouble with it because you did an outstanding job.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
That was, he showed up when he said he was going to. He got everything done. Matter of fact, is that big piece of plywood out there yours? Did you put that in the back of your chipper truck?
Yeah.
It's here.
I had taken it out and I
Yeah.
put it behind the chipper sometimes if there's a lot of dirt to kind of throw stuff on before I chip it. Yeah, I was wondering where that was.
It's right here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I actually keep it in the dump truck because if we're in Berlin in town, Cindy uses that for her bathroom in the back. So, I don't know if you want to edit that part out.
No, I think we're going to keep that in there, Cindy. I hope you don't mind. Yeah. I got a comment on that, but I'll leave it to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been, it's pretty interesting to see the expertise that you guys have, because before I did all of this, I had never even really run chainsaws, and they can be pretty scary if you don't follow proper safety procedures.
Right.
And I mean, to watch you do what you would do, you were very meticulous about it. Like you said, you took your time, you didn't rush through stuff.
Yep.
And I guess that's the key to being safe and
Yep.
making sure. Here was pretty easy. We just had to make sure we didn't hit the power lines.
Right.
Because if we'd have done that, you'd still be without power down there in West Bend, Spruceville.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, in all your years of forestry, you said you've been doing this, like 35 years?
Yeah.
What's the one time that scared the crap out of you?
That time I was telling you about when I got out of the skidder and had chaps on.
Oh,
and,
yes,
and
yes.
The loop of the chaps caught on the shifting lever and it shifted it into reverse. And the skidder started backing up. I mean, the brake was on, but it still was backing up. But that was probably the scariest time, I guess, probably. I mean, we've gone for some rides on the skidders, cutting steep ground for sure. Those
I would
are probably
imagine.
the cutting. I've never really had any close calls as far as that goes, but skidding the wood sometimes is.
Well, I would imagine when you started when you were 20, you've seen a lot of changes in forestry and logging.
Yeah, there's a lot of mechanization now,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Were you still at Berlin High when they had the forestry program, or had that been?
Yep.
Did you
Yeah.
go through that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Mr. Alt, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because that's back when there was guys in the woods with saws, and now it's
That's all it was, pretty much.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of mechanization, but yeah, that was 87, 88. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was a long.
and then fella bunches came in, and
Yeah. Yeah, and then the ice storm of '98 really, everybody bought fellow bunchers then.
yes,
Because it was so dangerous to cut in the woods. Just if they were on the fence about buying one, they went and bought one.
it's interesting you talk about ice storms. There's a fellow out of Canada called Sawing with Sandy on YouTube.
Yep.
And he started off with sawmills, and he owns a big red pine plantation, and he had an ice storm go through this year
Yep.
and devastated the forest.
Right.
So kind of like what that big storm did here in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just decimated the forest.
Yep. Oh yeah, it does a number on everything. Yeah. So we must have to cut everything, or.
Yeah, he's in the process. I mean, if you ever get a chance, it's on YouTube, Sawing with Sandy. If you want to follow this guy, he started off with a Woodlands Mills sawmill like I have, and he's since moved up to a bigger one, which is more mechanized. As Dave was saying, we're not spring chickens anymore, and the more mechanization we can use to help us to make our job easier, the better it is.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Well, it was great when you came up to do this. It really helped me out a lot. They were big trees, way beyond my scope, because
Yep.
I know they'd all be on the highway.
Yeah. Oh, we had a good day to do it. There was no wind. When I came and looked at the job, the wind was freaking howling across,
Yes.
like
And the
that.
wind, the way it comes, so right behind me, that's west, and the winds are westerly here, so they
Yeah.
come across. And interestingly enough, when he took down those pines, my neighbors across the street, the Boudreaux, who own Hillside Tree Farm, said to me, "Hey, we have a view now." So we gave him a little
Yeah,
bit
they
of a
were
view.
tall. Yeah.
We gave him a little bit of a view on there.
Yeah.
So would you recommend if a young person, would you recommend this career for them?
If you love it, sure. Yeah.
What do you think they need to have for motivation? What do you think the key would be to be successful with this?
You gotta like to suffer, probably. On some days, it's gonna really suck. Yeah. That's the biggest thing, I think. Yeah. Push through them days that really suck.
I don't think that's different than any job.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah, there's always gonna be something.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're
Yeah.
sitting in a cubicle in an office, there's
Yeah.
always days that suck.
Yeah, exactly. But if you don't mind the weather,
Well, how'd you like going from working for somebody to working for yourself?
oh, I like working for myself a lot better. Yeah. And I bought my first skidder when I was 24. But I always worked for somebody.
Right.
But you had freedom.
Yeah.
Nobody was telling you when to get there or when to leave. So that's one part I like about it. But you're always working for somebody either way. I work for you.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
the way I look at it when
Yeah.
I go on a job. It's,
He did tell me I was one of the nicest bosses he's ever had.
yeah, it's pretty easy going.
So when I was up at your house the other day, paying him, because I did have to pay him, it cost some money to do this.
Yeah.
You mentioned you guys still do a farm stand down at the end of the road?
No, we don't.
You don't?
No, we did that. Well, when COVID hit, we went on other directions and just never went back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you got to be pretty devoted to that, and there's not a lot of money in it.
No.
It's like farming.
No,
That's
that's
what it is.
Well, it's like my son and daughter-in-law.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
they know.
you do it because you love it. You're not in
Pretty
it to
much.
make money.
No, yeah. That's a hard way to make money. Yeah.
So if somebody's trying to reach you, how do they find Dave Lang?
Oh, you can Google it, or just call it 449-4186.
449-4186. I'll try to put this down below when you guys see this on YouTube.
Yeah.
What was I going to go with this? Facebook, any presence there?
I have a Facebook page that I put a lot of pictures, some videos on there
Okay.
and stuff, but it's not really a business Facebook, but it's my number's on there.
And when they're looking for you, was it under Dave Lang or was it Lang's Tree
yeah,
Service?
it's under Dave Lang. Yeah,
Yeah.
David Lang, pretty much.
Yeah.
David Lang Tree Service.
So listen, that's if you need someone to cut your tree, I'm going to tell you I recommend this guy. He did a great job for me. Incredibly happy with the work. It was well done. It was clean when I got here. He left me some plywood. That's all good stuff. So, and if you have a question, you need some tree work done, and if you can't find Dave, give me a buzz or message me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll forward you the number on there. So, Dave, thank
Thanks
you very
again.
much.
Thanks, John.
Listen,
I
it's been a
appreciate
pleasure. Again, Dave Lang Tree Services. Don't forget, if you need someone to climb your trees, he's the man. And I'll close this as I always do. Don't forget to be kind to your neighbors. Put on something with a zipper. Peace.
Peace.